Hey guys and welcome back to Reddit Reader. I am Reader, and I read stories on Reddit, and today we are taking a look at r/TIFU.
TIFU by automatically replying nice after hearing 69. So, as many people during quarantine I started getting more immersed into meme culture, which includes the infamous funny nice number 69. Now onto the story. The night my parents had friends come over, including someone my age, and we all ended up playing cards together while chatting about life, then the adults moved to more political topics, specifically a terrorist movement from decades ago. When one of the friends asked my dad approximately how many were victims to all that, he replied 69k. At that moment my mind decided not to think and I unconsciously blurted nice in front of everyone. So as everyone, except for my friend were not as meme involved, they were obviously taken aback by my comment, looking at me as some sort psycho who thinks people's lives are no big deal. After a few long seconds of silence I decided to go to the kitchen to bring more snacks and pretend nothing happened at all. TLDR, I said nice after my dad said the death toll of an event was around 69k, all his old friends looked at me, as if I was psycho. Edit, as many have been asking, it wasn't a single event, there was this terrorist group called Sendero Luminoso, they were active for a few years killing many. I decided to check the actual death toll, and it's documented to be around 19k, wish my dad had known his facts better to avoid my dumbest comment, but it's great to know there weren't as many victims as I was first led to believe. Edit 2, UROYAL 3 grams found the right info, my dad was actually right. The real.
The text you just heard was from user MPS and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by being a guy who hasn't dated anyone in years. I went on a third date with a fantastic girl today and we kissed and hugged and cuddled. I recently started dating her and it's been a long time since I've been in physical contact with the opposite sex. The date sounds pleasant, doesn't it? Well, I'm the middle of just talking with our arms around each other, I look down and see a wet spot. Oh. I think I know what that is. A few minutes later the spot gets larger and it gets bigger. I'm going to adjust my legs and it's pretty evident it's there. What do I do being the genius person I am? I tell her, hey I'm a bit wet, sorry. I said it BC, I figured she'd see it anyways. Luckily she understands and is pretty chill about it. Thank God. But yeah, that was not fun. It was embarrassing BC, it was in public and pretty evident what it was. And I had to meet someone else after my date. Luckily it dried off in time. Weird thing is I like her a lot, but I wasn't thinking of anything other than hugging her at that time. Update. She's my GF now, so it wasn't all that bad. Update 2, I didn't expect this to get this famous, I sent her the link and she's laughing out loud with me wholesome. The LDR, hadn't gone on a date in years and ended up getting my pants wet.
The text you just heard was from user Confident MONEY2438 and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by thinking I could spare $25 to help a stray cat. I still can't believe this actually happened. Stray cat had been coming around my house for a while. There's a place here that will do an exam and fix strays for $25. I was supposed to start volunteering with my kid at an animal shelter this month. Figured I could pay for the exam and then take the cat to the shelter to find a forever home. Perfect plan. Worked on building trust. Initially, he would run when I opened the sliding door. I started barely opening it and tossing treats out for him. He got to a point where he'd run to the edge of the patio, but return once he saw I put food and water out for him. After a while, he came up to me and let me pet him. This went on for about 2 or 3 weeks. On 5/31st, he showed up and I went to give him food and water as usual. He was being super affectionate, more than he'd ever been. Rubbing against my leg, pushing his head into my hand as I pet him. I was careful not to move much while petting him, just bent over to do so. He suddenly attacked me out of nowhere. Bit me on my lower leg ankle area and multiple scratches on the top of my foot. I bled a lot. Cleaned it immediately with soap and water, alcohol, and applied bacitracin. Also grabbed a shower, since he had rubbed against my leg, the one night I wear shorts, and repeated the steps to clean the wound. Called to report it to animal control. They came out the next day to set a trap. They kept it out for 2 weeks, but cat was not caught. Edit, since the comments about me calling animal control are already starting, I don't know how animal control works everywhere but here, once an animal is caught, they quarantine it for 10 days to check for any signs of rabies. If there are no signs of rabies after that time, the animal is placed for adoption within the county shelter. This was confirmed with the person I spoke with when I initially reported it over the phone. The animal control officer who brought the trap to my house also confirmed this, as well as a second officer who returned to rebait the trap. The only way the cat would have been put down is if he had shown signs of rabies. Was in a lot of pain the next morning, so went to urgent care. X-ray, tetanus shot, and started antibiotics. 2 days later, in the foot swollen and unable to walk. Shot in the butt, they added a second oral antibiotic for me to take and a topical one to use. Put me on crutches. 3 days after that. Follow up with my doctor. He immediately sent me to the hospital because of how bad everything looked. IV fluids, x-rays, ultrasound, and they started rabies treatment since it was a stray. Rabies treatment starts with this super fun thing called the rabies immunoglobulin shot. It goes in the wound, which was already in a crappy spot, but also super swollen and hurting, and it was multiple injections. I screamed the entire time. Feel free to make fun of me, but it was horrendous. The rest are just 4 normal shots. I've had to return to the hospital for each shot, and the last one is scheduled for Monday. I've since been to my doctor several times and the hospital multiple times for the shots, but they also recheck the wound. I am currently taking 10 pills of antibiotics a day and, unfortunately, still unable to walk, stand, or drive and in a lot of pain. My doctor has kept me out of work during all of this, but I am supposed to return on Monday, working from home. Most recent visit was at the hospital on Thursday, and they felt I am not responding as I should to the antibiotics. They said they believe the infection is in my muscles tendons, but that it is possible physical damage occurred to my muscles tendons, either from the cat bite directly or during the scuffle. The scratches have healed without issue, it's the bite punctures that are the problem. My doctor said he can look more into physical injuries once the infection heals, but can't really determine it now, since the infection can cause the same type of pain as an injury. Hoping things get better soon, but also trying to prepare for the worst. Doc said it is possible IV antibiotics might be needed, which would require a potentially long hospital stay, and one of the docs said sometimes surgery is required in severe cases. Just playing the waiting game right now. So far, I have spent $203.32, and that was only for prescription copays and 2 office visits. I've yet to receive the bills from the hospital, but I can't imagine they will be cheap, American healthcare and all. Regardless, a hell of a lot more than the $25 I anticipated on spending to help the cat. Also having to rely on delivery services for food, also needing to get things that can be microwaved as it is so much worse when not elevated, which is a higher expense than getting groceries and cooking myself. As an added bonus, prior to this happening, I was really battling my depression and anxiety. This made it all even worse. Edit to add. I have already scheduled therapy. The LDR tried to help a stray cat. Cat attacked me. Bad infection in leg, can't walk or stand. Costing a lot more than the $25 I planned on spending.
The text you just heard was from user HeyKrunkNatachi and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by exposing my poo hole to a customer's child. So this happened to me about 8 years ago, but still haunts me on a weekly basis. I used to do door-to-door lawn aeration when I was in school, and if you don't know what that is, just think of like cutting the grass, except you don't cut the grass, you just poke holes in it. Well, after doing this 10 days in a row on a 14-day road trip, I started to get a lot of chaff on my ass and legs, so naturally I would lather myself up in between jobs with baby powder, like it was the only thing keeping me alive. I forgot it that day and a customer earlier in the day gave me some Gold Bond, but put it in a Ziploc bag, remember this for later, so I sell another lawn, and about halfway through it, my butthole is really starting to hurt every step, which means I need to put more powder in my butt, which typically I just squirt with a bottle down the back of my pants and kind of lar up my whole backside, but since it was in a bag, I had to go inside and use the guy's bathroom. I was standing in the bathroom trying to figure out how to get it in between my butt cheeks. I tried to use my hands, didn't really work, so I got on my back, put my legs up, reached around my legs, and started pouring it on my ass straight from the bag like the filthy animal I am. Now I must say, in that moment, with my pants around my ankles on my back with my asshole in the air, I didn't really think of the situation I put myself into. But since I'm an idiot and didn't lock the door, his kid, maybe 12 years old, opened the door and we make eye contact. Not just any eye contact though, because he would have had to been staring directly into my butthole with me on my back, pants down, looking at him through my legs on my back while pouring Gold Bond into my butt. After what felt like an hour but was probably only 5 seconds, he ran out, shut the door, I got up, threw the bag in the garbage and ran out and left without even finishing the lawn. Now if that wasn't bad enough, about an hour later I was walking down his street because I had to collect payment from one of his neighbors, and he runs out with a bag of Gold Bond in his hand and started accusing me of putting drugs in my butt. After getting yelled at and the most awkward conversation of my life, eventually he ended up knowing his neighbor who gave me the Gold Bond, and I called him and explained the situation to him, and he just died of laughter and said yes, he did give me the Gold Bond, and then he walked over and we laughed about it, and I ended up finishing Buddy's lawn and getting payment. But yeah, safe to say I never heard the end of that one at work. The LDR, I'm I fucking idoid, lock your doors when doing weird things.
The text you just heard was from user Makinachin and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit.
TIFU by thinking I could do a backflip into the pool. The LDR at bottom. So for context. I live in an apartment complex with my mom and 3 other siblings and a friend who lives a few doors down. The apartments surround a big public pool that anyone can enter. The pool was closed for a few weeks for repairs and just opened up recently, so my mom decided we should go to the pool before anyone else realized it was reopened and my friend tagged along with us. So we were have fun with the pool all to ourselves and I see my younger siblings doing small backflips into the pool. She's got it mastered by now, so she's fine, and I think, that's pretty cool, I want to do that. So I climb out of the pool to prepare for the jump and my mom looks over and watched me jump, but my body ended up in a horizontal position, fell and hit my lower back on the edge of the pool, and I fell in backwards, headfirst into the water. I was just lucky to be wearing scuba goggles, so I didn't get any water into my nose. Once I resurfaced, my lower back was burning and my mom ran up to me and my friend jumped into the pool after me to see if I was alright. I stood there hanging on to the edge of the pool in pain until I decided to get out of the pool and take it easy by laying down on the lawn chairs in the shade and left to go back home a bit later when I felt better. The LDR. Tried to backflip into pool, fell on lower back.
The text you just heard was from user EmeraldDRAGON 2005 and was posted in the r/TIFU subreddit. That's it for this video. I am Reddit Reader and I read Reddit. In this video we read r/TIFU. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.